welcome to the Movie Skewer. You might have seen the other Wonder Woman reviews on this site, courtesy of my fellow reviewer Sofie Lee. Well, I decided it was time for the man's perspective on the character, because what Wonder Woman truly needs is another clueless male writer who doesn't get her. I fully admit it, I don't get Wonder Woman. She's the most iconic female superhero there is, she's inspired millions of sexy Halloween costumes, and I couldn't name one of her villains or explain her origin story if you paid me. The truth is, to guys, the Wonder Woman title is like the WNBA of comic books. It does well enough to keep going for years, even though no one really cares about it that much. It's pretty easy to tell why guys have a general lack of interest in female superheroes. The notion of being rescued by a woman who's stronger and smarter than they are just doesn't appeal to most men. Call it sexist if you like, because it is. It is very sexist. But there's no denying that's a huge reason why there's only been one successful live-action version of a female superhero. I'm talking, of course, about the semi-campy 1970s Wonder Woman series starring Linda Carter. And pay attention, because this is what it takes to get guys to watch Wonder Woman. I was too young at the time to really appreciate this show, but trust me, catching the reruns as a teenager was quite the special time for me. But a year before that series, there was another Wonder Woman pilot. It starred Kathy Lee Crosby, future host of That's Incredible, as a Wonder Woman with no superpowers, no lasso of truth, no trademark bustier, and worst of all, she was blonde. Supposedly, this pilot was inspired by what was going on in the comics at the time. In 1968, DC tried to revamp Wonder Woman by having her give up her powers and her costume and learn martial arts from a blind karate master. This went on for a few years until feminists blasted DC for weakening their most prominent female character. But the truth is, that's not why the Wonder Woman in this pilot has no powers. This Wonder Woman has no powers because it's significantly cheaper to make a show about a superhero with no powers. Everything about this pilot screams cheapness. The entire story is written around having to use no more than 5 sets, the action is non-existent, and I'd say Wonder Woman spends at least 80% of the movie on the phone. We open on guys disguised as military police, as they break into secure locations all around the world and steal books. I believe we're watching the origin story of WikiLeaks. I also like how these secure locations include the underside of a piano. Damn, those Gideons are everywhere. They deliver the books to a guy named George, and now that he's got the full set of the MacGuffin Chronicles from Time Life books, he has the men killed by a pair of gunmen that I can only call the Jim Morrison twins. Cut to Paradise Island, and don't worry, you're not developing early onset glaucoma. They've smeared Vaseline all over the lens in a sad attempt to cover up the cheapness of the set. In a severely abridged version of Wonder Woman's origin story, Diana is selected by her mother, the Queen, to venture out into the land of men and show them the true power of women.
There's deep sadness in having you leave us, but there's also joy. The hope that your presence in the world of man will open closed eyes to the genuine value of women.
She says her farewells, and please notice the Amazon who seems way too interested in the world of men. I hate to think of them doing all that foreshadowing for nothing.
And I would go in your place without hesitation to the wonders of the outside world.
There is no greater wonder than the peace and the joy we have on our island, Angela.
Instantly, Diana is in the land of men, already working as a secretary. I'm not sure this is what her mom had in mind. Go forth into the world of men, Diana, and get a minimum wage job answering phones and making coffee for them. She works for Steve Trevor, just like in the comics. There, he's a military intelligence officer, so yeah, let's just go with that. He gets word about the books being stolen and calls together some of his best agents. Well, his creepiest agents, anyway.
Here's today's surprise. I know it's small, but it's the best I could do on short notice.
That's sweet. Thanks. Yes, sir?
Send them in when they get here, Dee.
Go right on in.
Dinner, Dee? Don't answer now. Think about it. Think about it.
Think about it. Think about taking out a restraining order. Trevor explains that the MacGuffin Chronicles are actually code books. When combined, they reveal the undercover assignments of all secret agents out in the field. The bad guys want $15 million in exchange for the books. They've got some possible suspects, but the only one you need to remember is this one, Abner Smith, last seen in France.
You've each got 1 hour to devise a counterplan to recover those books and save those lives.
Naturally, Creepy Guy uses up part of that hour to hit on the secretary.
Well, Dee, what do you think?
I'm afraid I can't have dinner with you tonight.
Probably just as well. Odds are I'll be in Caracas by dinner time.
Yeah, who needs you? I'm gonna be in Venezuela, like a boss.
Bob, you will be careful.
Ew, this guy is creepy. Well, as we're about to find out, this is the life of Wonder Woman, getting constantly hit on by weird, gross guys. Diana finds a roundabout way of telling Steve she's going to France to track down Abner Smith.
I'll be away from the office for a while. A dental appointment I lost a filling.
Well, it happens. Which dentist are you going to try?
I think the French one.
So I guess in this version, Trevor knows that Diana is Wonder Woman? So why play coy with the stupid dentist discussion? A blur wipe takes us to France, where Diana checks into a hotel. Here, men check her out, and oddly enough, women check her out too. I guess they call her Wonder Woman because she makes ladies wonder what it's like to feel the touch of a woman. Somehow, one of the Jim Morrison twins is already waiting for her.
Wonder Woman. She's here.
Wait, so how does he recognize her as Wonder Woman? Does she even have a secret identity in this thing? If not, why didn't the agents recognize her as Wonder Woman? Why don't the guys at the front desk recognize her? Meanwhile, George meets with his boss, Abner Smith, whose face remains unseen for almost the entire movie. I think they were going for some kind of Blofeld-like mystique, which doesn't really work with an actor who has a voice this recognizable.
I don't agree with you, Mr. Smith. This isn't a democracy, George. We don't take a vote here. You're the boss. Yes, George, I am.
Gee, who could that be? Okay, I'll grant you. This was before Wrath of Khan, before Fantasy Island, maybe even before the Chrysler Cordoba ads. But Ricardo Montalban was pretty well known in 1974. If you doubt this, just look at the opening credits of this movie where they bill him as a special guest star. And seriously, getting a guy with a thick Mexican accent to play a character named Abner Smith, that right there should have been a sign of trouble. Diana heads to her room, and then one of the Morrison twins attacks. And she just continues heading up to her room like nothing happened. But for sure, that's gonna knock down her Yelp review of this hotel by at least 1 star. In her room, she gets a call from George, who also hits on her in the creepiest way possible.
You are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life, and if you don't have dinner with me tonight, I'm just gonna have to throw myself from the top of this building.
Diana accepts the offer, so I guess chicks back then were a lot cooler about suicidal stalkers. They meet, and somehow Diana is not swept off her feet by George, even though he's dressed like the best man at every 1970s wedding ever. She's even able to resist his incredibly smooth lines, like,
You are so totally captivating. Let me make love to you.
or this one.
You're fast. I like you.
Whoa, 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 slow down. Let me write these down. These lines are keepers for sure.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
There's no reason to run away.
In fact, I think there are several. Diana goes to a phone booth to call Trevor, but then... Sadly, she's not in the Matrix, so she has to deftly jump out of the phone booth in the nick of time. She tracks the car to a mansion where she gets yet another phone call, this time from Abner himself. And it seems his crafty plan here is to lock Diana behind a gate. The Linda Carter Wonder Woman could have cleared this in one jump, but this version has to tinker with the wires to get out. She's a wiring wonder, Wonder Woman! She then flies to New York and checks into another hotel room. After yet another phone conversation, it turns out there's a snake in her room. So either that was planted by the bad guys, or she made the mistake of staying at a Motel 6. Wonder Woman then uses her amazing power of always being on the phone to handle the situation.
This is room 519. Send up a container of milk and a saucer, and tell the waiter to let himself into the room, but to take his shoes off in the hall first. Yes, that's what I said.
Here's the room service guy who does this whole shtick about being afraid of the snake. Actually, that might not be shtick. he might have a bad case of the DTs. Yeah, snakes really like milk. I learned something new from cheesy 70s TV movies every day. Meanwhile, Steve Trevor just got a huge crate from the bad guys. Hey, what'd you expect when you signed up for the Borough of the Month Club? Diana is again on the phone, and Steve explains that the Borough is how they have to deliver the ransom money to the bad guys.
Now you're supposed to put the money where?
2 leather saddlebags, then take the animal to a place in Nevada, a ghost town named Alba, at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
And that's all.
We give the Borough a command in Spanish, slap it on the rump, and leave.
Much like Steve does with his housekeeper. Afterwards, one of Diana's sisters shows up. She's come all the way from Vaseline Island to tell her that the highly corruptible Amazonian from the beginning has in fact been corrupted.
One from among us has fled the island.
Which of us?
Angela. And so your mother spoke according to our just laws. Angela is not to be trusted.
And then we immediately blur wipe to Angela meeting with Abner Smith. Why Abner Smith? Is he the only bad guy around? Are the other bad guys just not hiring due to the down economy? A few blur wipes later, and Steve is dropping off the Borough on a Wild West set on the Warner Brothers backlot. And that's when Diana abruptly appears on the scene, now dressed as Evel Knievel's lovely assistant. Actually, this is her Wonder Woman costume, I'm sorry to say. Somehow, the idiots in charge decided a Moon Maiden outfit from a 50s B-movie was more appropriate than the costume she had only been wearing for 30 years. She follows the Borough to a room where it gets sprayed down, because there's nothing like the smell of freshly washed ass. Diana follows, but gets trapped inside. Here, she almost gets crushed to death by what I can only describe as a wall of cherry, grape, and lime sherbet. Thankfully, she's able to avoid a certain and delicious death by kicking out a flimsy plexiglass door. Meanwhile, George and Angela are just, hanging out, and they just happen to have some javelins lying around. You know how it goes. This skill-established Wonder Woman shows up, triumphantly riding the Borough. She's none too happy about Angela working for the man, literally, so there's only one way to settle this. A javelin off. To the death. After much slow-motion fighting, this titanic battle of women handling long poles comes to an end.
You would not take my life.
I didn't save your life on the island to take it now.
Would you allow me to replace my weapon?
No, Angela.
No, 'cause it'll only take me a second to go get my grenade launcher. In exchange for sparing her life, Angela reveals the location of Abner Smith's hideout. Wonder Woman heads there and gets caught, and now the face of Abner Smith is finally revealed.
You are exactly as I picture you. Exactly.
It's Mr. Rourke. No, seriously, did Montalban ever wear anything other than white suits in the 1970s? For some reason, what Abner really wants to know is how she got from France to New York in record time.
I have this marvelous plane that flies that much faster than yours.
I'd like to see it sometime.
I'm afraid that's just not possible.
Even if I give you my word, I'd make no attempt to steal it.
It's not that. You see, my plane is invisible.
I guess we're all supposed to think, hey, just like the comics. But given how lame this Wonder Woman is, there's a good chance she's delusional and is just imagining that plane. Even Abner is all like, whatever, crazy lady. I mean, if she was using her invisible jet, why did we see her at the airport?
Oh, the books are in this leather case.
This rich Corinthian leather case. He then shows her around the evil lair. Here's the alligator pit, there's the shark tank, and here's the helicopter we'll be using to escape once we kill you. Naturally, Diana sabotages the helicopter, so they trap her between more flimsy plexiglass. Sadly, we get the closest thing to a magic lasso in this movie, as she unwinds a rope from her belt and slowly escapes. Meanwhile, Abner is forced to paddle away on his inflatable raft. Nice. Maybe while they were at it, they should have had him hop on his getaway skateboard. Wonder Woman has to catch up with him, and in the utter height of laziness, a motorcycle just happens to be sitting around Abner's living room. Why didn't he use that to escape? This turns out to be the most boring chase ever caught on film, mostly because the two people involved appear to be in different zip codes. Diana dives off a rock and materializes on Abner's raft. He just accepts defeat like the lazy villain he is and happily heads off to jail.
Wonder Woman, I love you.
Oh, for God's sakes, guys, she's not that hot. You know, I'm not even sure if this was really a plot to steal $15 million, or just a couple of guys trying to get laid. One last blur wipe takes us back to Steve's office, where Diana says her visit to the dentist was only a little painful, wink wink, the end. Good lord, that was boring, and I've seen some boring superhero TV movies. Thankfully, a year later, they would try again with Linda Carter. To set the new pilot apart from this thing, they promoted it with the oxymoronic title, The New Original Wonder Woman. And that would be the last time anyone would give the old, unoriginal Wonder Woman a moment's thought. But guess what? Outtakes from this movie have just been discovered. That's right, in a movie Skewer exclusive, here's a never-before-seen moment from the Wonder Woman pilot.
What a day. I found the secret code books, beat up a lot of bad guys, and cured myself of the mental illness that makes me talk to myself. I guess I better call Steve and tell him about all this.
Trevor,
Hello, Steve. It's Diana.
how's it going?
Great news, Steve. I've located the code books and they will be back in the country within 24 hours.
You want me to send you some company for moral support?
No, everything's fine here. I should be able to take care of it all before morning.
We all miss you, Dee.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much.
The English dentist is in a hospital in Belgrade, and the other one is on a long vacation in China.
Okay. Not sure what that means, but good to know.
We give the burro a command in Spanish, slap it on the rump, and leave.
I think I should maybe go. Hold on, I'm getting another call.
We all miss you, Dee.
Yeah, whatever. Hello?
Ah, Wonder Woman. It is I, criminal mastermind Abner Smith.
This is Abner Smith? Honey, you don't really sound like an Abner Smith.
What are you trying to say? There are many people in my country with the name Abner Smith. Also, that's racist.
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. It's just your accent sort of threw me off.
Okay, fine. My name is not really Abner Smith. My real name is John Thompson.
John Thompson?
What? Do I not look like a John Thompson?
I can't see you. We are on the phone.
Wonder Woman, I love you. We must have dinner tonight. I give you my word, that I will be a total gentleman.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry, but you're just not my type. I just have a thing about not going out with people who holds all of our agent hostage for a sum of $15 million.
Oh, come on, that was the old me. Wonder Woman, I must help you.
Oh, damn it, I'm getting another call. Hold on for a minute. Hello?
Wonder Woman, it's me, Steve Trevor. I just wanted to say, we all miss you, Dee.
This doesn't sound like Steve.
Of course this is Steve. Can't you see I have blonde hair? Just like Steve?
No, I can't see. We are on the phone.
You know, Wonder Woman, I can't help but feel like we got a real connection here. What do you say we have dinner tonight?
What? That wouldn't be appropriate. I work for you.
Oh, don't worry about that, Toots. This is the 1970s. Sexual harassment isn't going to be invented for another 20 years.
What?
Come on, Sofie. Can't you tell that we're just meant to be together?
Jack, I'm not Sofie. I'm Wonder Woman. Remember?
Right, that's what I meant. Wonder Woman, of course. I must have you.
Oh crap, Abner is still on the other line. Are you still there?
Look, if you don't have time for dinner, that's cool. But how about we go for some coffee? No pressure or anything.
What's wrong with you guys? I am here to fight crime. I am not looking for a date. Oh dear Lord, now who could that be? Hello?
Diana, it is I, your Amazonian sister from Paradise Island, Ursa.
Oh, Ursa, thank God it's you. For a moment there, I thought it was one of those creepy guys asking me out again.
Yes, it is unfortunate what you must endure in the land of men. You should come home as soon as possible. Here, there will be no men to disturb you.
Oh, I'm quite busy actually with... Wait a second. When did you get films in Paradise Island?
We all miss you here, Diana. Most of all, I miss our group bathing sessions in the lagoon and your skin glistening in the moonlight.
What?
Come now, Diana. After 3,000 years without men, surely you must have needs that only another woman can satisfy.
Oh God, not you two. Look, I know that I am pretty at all, but really, this is ridiculous.
Look, Sofie, just go with it. The man upstairs says we have to do it.
You mean Zeus?
No, Dr. O'Boogie. He says that the two of us talking like this will generate more views than a porn critic review.
Really? More views than the porn critic, you say? No, I can't. No, it's too disgusting. Oh, for God's sake, who is it now? Hello?
Look, just do the lines. People love lesbian stuff. Just do the lines, damn it, or you're fired.
No! I am a serious reviewer, really serious, and I am not going to act out your sick fantasy because I am better than that.
Yeah, I'm out too. Sorry. Nice try, though.
Wait, come back. You're the only female reviewers I have left. Full of questions hates me. Damn it. Now how am I supposed to add a little bisexual action to this thing?
I'm game.
Did someone say bisexual action?
No! Cut to the credits! Cut to the credits!
Oh, come on! That was your me! Wonder Woman? Almost. This is what happens when you get a pen to be a cigar. Oh, God.